How's it going? Welcome back to Arcade Spirits. As you may have noticed, we're breaking things up into longer episode chunks. Paul and I are just bad at getting through this game quickly, it would seem. Just trying to help things along. Gavin had just asked us to go into the back room to meet Naomi. So that's where we're headed.
What was the name of the last character we just talked to? George?
Gavin?
Gavin. So we had Gavin.
Call him?
We were talking to Gavin. It's okay. It's Gavin. Sorry, I forgot. They're both G names. You could have called him George. It would have been exactly the same.
Oh, George. I don't know. It didn't come across properly, and I heard like Dorch. I was worried about you. That in the 2 minutes since we saw that guy, his name had turned from Gavin to a real human's name to Dorch. I'm hoping that this is like an AI. It's not an actual person. It is just like a computer program.
Gosh.
That would be neat. In a little room tucked away between the back offices and the Funplex front, I find what is very likely Naomi, spoken only of in myth and legend.
So we have the other developer. In the chat.
Hey.
We have Sharky Anna. But yeah, apparently she hecking loved our stream from last week. She was in tears. She was laughing so hard.
Well, that's good to hear.
I'm
much appreciated.
That's always awesome. I always feel good whenever somebody's in like my stream and they're like, "Oh hey, I'm actually dying on the other side of this monitor right now because of all."
I mean, that's
this
always
humor.
the target, right? You want literal dropping dead. That's like the target. A girl about my age, but certainly not my height, see, this is Francine. She hires short employees so that she can outrun them. It makes sense. Tinkering away on what looks like a CRT tube monitor.
Alright.
Huh, I didn't realize they had so many circuits. She doesn't notice me when I come in, too busy soldering a capacitor in place. The lingering smell of melting metals fills the air of the poorly ventilated workshop. Impressive that you knew a capacitor on site. Capacitor. Capacitator is like... That's like some sci-fi made-up nonsense. It's just a capacitor.
It's kind of like how in like CSI, whenever they're like, enhance the image.
Right.
Enhance. That's not how that works.
Whenever they write a computer hacker into a show and they're like, let's not do any research into how this actually works, they'll just slap the keyboard and say a bunch of weird words like capacitator, and I'm sure no one will keep up with it and it'll be fine. One
of my favorite things is that I think in an episode of like CSI, I think it was CSI, they went and they raided a guy's house and they looked for like evidence incriminating him. And one of the guys, he comes back into the police office and they're like, "We got his hard drive." And he holds up the power supply for a computer.
What?
He holds
like the power cord?
Supply. Yeah, it had the power cord on it and everything. He's like, "We have the power supply." And I'm just like...
That's like some Zoolander nonsense. The files are in the computer?
I think that's definitely one of those things of either people on like the actual cast, like people like working on the show, thought that would be a funny joke for anybody who works on computers, or they just picked that part because it was the only thing they had lying around, and they figured that most people who don't know anything about computers won't care or know.
Yeah, they know their demographic. The demographic's probably a little older than the typical people who are like building their own computers.
Exactly. All right.
I hope it was a self-aware joke, though. I hope they do.
I hope it was, too.
Excuse me. For lack of a better way to interrupt her, just throw something. I was worried no matter what I might do, I don't know, burn her fingers or jump so high she hit the ceiling or something. Fortunately, the shock's not quite that intense.
Ah!
Oh. The characters aren't very animated in this show, so having like the squash and stretch there was kind of a nice little touch. Yet another character that has the arcade like symbol on their clothes.
Yeah.
For the supposedly basic responses, it shows up a lot.
So it's I heard like the light voice line.
Do you know what's something that just crossed my mind that I really appreciate? Is that the A's in this are triangles. And I mean, like, O's are always going to be O's. But I'm curious, is there any letter that looks enough like a square? Not like a Q, I guess? I don't know, but I feel like they purposely made, like, you know, button things for the letters.
I don't know.
I feel like an idiot for not catching that sooner, honestly. How are you going to distinguish this from the other female characters you've already done? Unless you're not wanting to take on that challenge at the moment.
I heard like a line, but I don't think it was enough for me to work off of.
Okay.
But I'm going to try anyways. Let's go.
Okay.
Hello?
Ooh, sexy.
Hey, you know this room is for employees only. How'd you get in here? What? She just looks at the door.
You know Francine always throwing people through closed doors? I just accidentally she already threw someone out the actual main door out of the office the other day, so now the door into the back room was the only one left to throw anyone through, so I just kind of ended up back here on accident. She said with no apostrophe. We're reading her words.
Are you lost? Do you need something or?
Yeah, we just didn't respond. She was busy being like, "How'd you get back here?" And then we sat there in silence. That's so creepy.
For like a minute.
I'm XX School Kid XX, and then I hope that every time after he says it, he does like a little air guitar riff, like, and just just to drive home how cool that name is. That's his middle name. It's just a little guitar solo. I'm the new floor attendant, starting today.
Wait, you're Cool Kid XX? She looks around at all the arcade cabinets in the room and she just takes a solid step to the corner. She just
the family name precedes me, I see.
Oh, gosh. Oh!
Hi!
I didn't realize Francine already found someone. I guess I forgot to check my text. Whoops.
She spares a glance at her phone on the nearby workbench, where a huge stack of green notification messages lie in wait. A stack? I guess they can stack up on the phone screen. It makes it sound like it's got a third dimension going on, though.
Yeah.
Like it's piling up outside hologram style like our phone assistant.
Okay, she's awkward. Got it. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, this conversation has a real natural flow to it. It's really quick and snappy. One thought comes to mind on actually seeing her. My number one thought would be, if you're going to go through the effort to wear like a work apron to, you know, kind of protect your clothes, protect yourself and your skin and everything, that maybe wearing a crop top isn't the best combination, just from a practicality standpoint.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But it looks stylish as hell. She looks very cool.
Well, I mean, she's working on computers. Like, how dangerous can that be? I think mostly this is so that she can hold tools.
Maybe it is just a style apron. It was never meant to be functional, and the fact that it has some mild functionality is just a benefit.
Yeah, so, I wonder I didn't notice her until now. She would totally focus on the task at hand, or I always assumed retro arcade nerds were fat middle-aged guys.
Ooh, presumptuous.
Ooh.
I
feel like
the first option's probably
the first
a little...
option's better.
Yeah. This room's right at the heart of the building, but totally isolated. With the heavy doors closed behind me, I can barely hear the arcade. Considering how completely and utterly dedicated she was to that monitor, not even noticing me, I guess that's also why. She didn't even notice XX Cool Kid XX when I walked in the room.
Everybody notices me when I walk into an arcade.
Just demanding the attention of the entire room.
Oh god, it's XX Cool Kid!
Just turning heads left and right. She didn't even notice? It must be because it's not me, it's her. She's just real focused on her job.
Clearly, my name precedes me.
But What I first notice is her smile. Even when squinting to see the tiny components on the circuit board, even when laser focused, she was smiling happily.
Hello.
Oh, her face muscles would hurt so much.
Anyway, I'm Naomi Fairchild, the Funplex techie. Hi, pleased to meet you. I was expecting Gavin though. He usually checks in on me about now. He's real stuck up.
So it's not just us?
No.
He is busy doing strange things with numbers.
Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, that sounds like Gavin. I take it he sent you along to help. Great. Give me a hand with this monitor. It's really heavy, and I'm still paranoid about dropping it after what happened last time. Arcade cabinets just fell over. I don't know.
It started with the cabinets. It's making its way to the monitors. It's a plague. The zombie apocalypse in a world that's cybernetic means that it is the actual technology that's being infected, not the humans. Yeah. They just treat zombies very differently in this future. Really? What happened last time? As if we haven't heard the story before.
Well, I dropped it. I mean, what do you think?
Well, you gotta drop it before it drops you, right?
I mean, that's true.
Oh, right. She helps me lift the large cathode ray tube, slotting the heavy metal framework into place within the exposed guts of the nearby arcade cabinet. Once done, she starts hooking wires back up to the other wires. There's a surprising number of green circuit boards in that largely hollow wooden shell. This is the first time I've seen the inside of one of these things. It's weird. Lots of empty space, a couple large slabs of circuits, and that beefy monitor.
Alright. So we have, why is it so empty in here? Maybe we could just fill it with nacho dip. Okay. I guess we're always have food on the mind, I guess?
Yeah.
Like,
the joke is iffy. I wouldn't go that
joke.
route.
I think that's a really bad joke. Oh man, all this room.
I would guess.
I'm gonna use it to hold all my nacho dip.
I'm almost curious to select that one to see in what way you would try and craft that into a better joke, but I don't see where that would come from. I would assume it's empty so that the arcades can swallow their victims.
I mean, yeah, exactly. That's the way that arcade cabinets works. If you lose the game, you get swallowed by the machine.
Yeah. That's probably the plot of like one or two 70s or 80s movies.
Oh gosh. My vote's between these two.
I say coin toss it. Whether or not you physically toss a coin or mentally, that's up to you.
Okay, I'm going to go in between these two. I'm closing my eyes. Give me a second. What did I press?
I think you picked the top one.
Okay, sweet.
Why is it so empty in there? Seems inefficient. Couldn't you pack more games in the arcade if it was more compact?
Not really. It's more about the footprint on the floor than the vertical height.
Oh, well, I guess also you'd be like, if it was too narrow and stuff, you'd be like rubbing elbows with people. And Naomi keeps working, using a pocket multimeter to check various connections as she speaks.
Let me explain.
I mean, compare American and Japanese cabinets. Ours are designed for standing players, so they have to be upright, even if that means an empty base. Japanese candy cabs are shorter, so you play sitting down, but I prefer American styles. Ours have more room for art.
I did not know it was different. That's kind of neat. She closes up the rear access panel, closing it with one of the many keys on the keyring at her side, then steps back to admire her handiwork. There's a genuine joy in that smile, not just at a job well done, but at looking at the whole thing, like it's a fine sculpture.
So beautiful.
Okay, I think I'm getting an actual idea. So beautiful. I think I have an idea of what, like, her voice should sound like.
You can parrot the voice a little bit. And
ooh, I love the classic Midway TM style.
You're like that voice analyzer in Mission Impossible 3. They have to make Philip Seymour Hoffman read out a bunch of lines so that this machine can learn his voice. You're, like, slowly parsing out this character's voice based on, like, grunts and affirmative noises and, like, one or two words here and there.
Well, I mean, it's mostly about getting like the how do
cadence,
I pronounce
the
it?
inflection.
The cadence, the inflection. There you go. of the voice, and then like after a while you can kind of just sort of adjust it. I'm really good at like my higher ranges, but when it gets into the deeper voices, I just sound southern.
No matter what, somehow it starts tipping to a bit of an accent.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but generally speaking, I can kind of get into the higher voices, and it tends to work out a little bit more for me.
I think the first low line you delivered for Gavin, there was like a weird bit of like a fraction of a hint of a southern drawl to it. And I was gonna point it out, but it didn't. It was only the once. It never showed up again the rest of the time you were doing the character. But now I wish I did point it out, because now or I don't know. It's funny though that you have recognized that yourself a little bit, because I heard it just the tiniest bit,
I'll say, all right, you XX cool kids. I need you.
I like the plural.
Yeah. I like it.
I like how the pluralization falls within the XX. You don't want to compromise the integrity of that XX wall.
Yeah. I need to go wander through other streams too, but I wanted to stop by and say thank you so much. I'm totally be catching the VOD and watching your channel in the future. I'm loving your stream. Okay, thank you so much. Again,
Cheers.
if you ever need a new voice actor, call me. And specifically for a girl's voice, not for a dude's.
Right.
Just letting you know.
Or just like an androgynous character that's like left ambiguous.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm not saying you can't do either. It would just be extra funny if people were left to question it, like, is this a manly sounding woman or is this a womanly sounding man?
Oh gosh. So going back to my Naomi. Ooh, I love the classic Midway TM style. Look at those sharp angles. Sorry, the TM is right there, okay?
She just wants to not get sued.
The side art decals, the bold font on the marquee, the bezel artwork.
The what on the what and the what artwork? With a sigh, Naomi points out key features to me. With a sigh, shouldn't you be excited to teach someone about this?
The strip across the top with the game's title, that's the marquee. The artwork that wraps around the monitor, that's the bezel. I mean, you see it too, right? How beautiful and cohesive it all is, working in harmony to give this game its own unique feel, its own experience.
As for me, well, bunch of weird looking boxes and a row looks ugly. I agree, it's beautiful in its own way. So you're a resident game historian then? I don't think saying the arcade machines look ugly is... Yeah, I think it's cool.
I like arcade machines personally. Arcade machines are really nice.
Arcade art is super fun, yeah. Yeah, it's cool. The way she stares lovingly at this, well, honestly, this box of wooden circuits and vacuum tubes and stuff, I think I understand. It was made to be one thing, the art, the style, and of course the game itself, all of it part of the same experience. Everything about this game is the game. If you run it on an emulator or on a game console instead, it's made lesser. Yeah, I guess I can see it. It's beautiful in its own way.
Oh, good.
Naomi lights up with joy like a pinball machine, all twinkly and shiny.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! I love the way she does that. Finally, so few people really understand the beauty of a classic arcade machine. Having someone I can talk to about this stuff is really going to be great.
Ooh, getting a little bashful.
Especially with that jerk Gavin running the numbers. Oh my god, she thinks he's stuck up too. Finally.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we just started here. You don't know if we're like in Gavin's pocket. I wouldn't talk shit about employees for at least the first week. Gavin, what's wrong with Gavin?
I don't know.
Oh wow. I feel like the voice I'm giving is pretty spot on, all things considered.
Just appreciating your handiwork.
I am a little bit. It makes me happy that I'm able to reach these very girly octaves. I'm just really, my voice was catered for this kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay, well, don't get me wrong. I can get along with him generally, but his whole attitude's just...
Ugh.
Sorry. All he really cares about is money. He keeps the arcade running, yeah, but I just know if he had his druthers, he'd gut the whole place. If anyone's gonna ruin the Funplex, it's him. Mark my words, it's inevitable.
Who is Mark? We haven't met Mark yet. I'm being
No,
dumb. It's not a character.
Okay. For a second there, I thought you were legitimately confused, and I was about to be like, no, listen. Mark, she's saying mark my words.
If anyone's gonna ruin the Funplex, it's Mark. Gavin, my words, it'll be Mark.
Gavin, my words, it's inevitable. God.
That doesn't sound right. We made it sound worse. It made a lot of sense when she said it. It seems easy enough to get along with, and what's more, Gavin gave you the whole speech about protecting their dreams? This looks like a pretty sore point here, a long-standing argument that the new gal really shouldn't get involved with. And yet, I'm involved, aren't I? I have to work with both Naomi and Gavin. So I'm not sure I should prod at it, but I kind of want to know, too.
Okay.
Don't rock the boat. I would almost just let her keep going. See if maybe she, like, naturally...
we can definitely... I feel like let her keep talking and clear the air are both the good options. I would...
I think clear the air would be, like, us inserting ourselves into it a little bit too much. I would rather, like, get a stronger feel for, is this, like, a deep hatred, or is it just kind of like, we don't get along super well? Because if we try and be like...
keep talking, I think.
Yeah, just let that play on out. Oh no, she's getting, like, anger pulses in the forehead there, so maybe it is a bit of a hatred.
I just get so mad thinking about what evil money-minded schemes he's probably coming up, or cooking up, not coming up with. Yeah.
Sometimes you have to come up with recipes and then you cook them. It's a two-step process.
No, not gonna get worked up. Besides, it's not right of me to dump all this workplace gossip right on the head of the newbie.
Good. This played out exactly how I wanted. A calm resolution where we didn't actually, like, take sides or anything. I think it was the right choice.
Though, to be fair, I should have picked her side, because I don't like how stuck-up he was.
That's true. She is more likable than Gavin overall. That is true, based on this limited interaction.
You seem like a good person, and you love arcade games like I do. Right, let's get back to work, shall we? Now for the less fun part. You seem like a strong, strapping kind of gal. Well, a strong gal, at least. Oh, wow!
Oh.
Wow,
You don't
Naomi.
like our plain white laundry day hoodie and Shaggy didn't do anything with our hairdo?
Oh, well, actually, you know what? Considering the clothes we are wearing, I'll take that. I'll take that insult, now that I think about it.
Not the most well-groomed employee.
Wait! And then she takes back the strong! Well,
Come on.
you're a
You
gal.
gotta give us one.
That's enough. And then she looks at us closely. Are you a gal? Just follows that up. She's like, who are you, really?
I'm semi-insulted, then?
Yep, I think that was the point. Okay, let's get to it.
We were nothing but helpful. Come on, Naomi.
Right, a little to the left now. My left, you're right, be careful. Now, forward, right. Correct, I mean, no, not to turn right. Keep it coming, and...
Turd.
There, carefully, tip it into place. Victory!
I gently ease the rolling dolly forward, the giant wooden box slotting into place alongside its neighbors. The two-wheeled dolly makes it easier, but hardly easy, especially with Naomi fretting over her baby getting scratched or, worse, falling over. Yeah, everyone's concerned about that the entirety of the time they're ever in an arcade. That's the entire concern. These things could fall over at any minute. But with the work done, she's all smiles again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad to be done with that one. The last guy that helped me move something got crushed.
The last 4, in fact. I like to imagine at the door when you walk in, you like hang up your coat and then they give you some like little chopsticks or novelty like dollar store arm things, like with the little clampy triggers, so you can like the arm plastic grabbers, so you have to play the arcade standing like 3 feet away from it, just for safety.
I mean, yeah. I swear, I've been working on that monitor for ages. Those tubes are finicky as heck. And I'm still not totally satisfied with the flyback, but thanks for helping me out, XX Cool. I think you're gonna do just great here.
Happy to.
That's the moment where the arcade machine fell on top of me.
That's the end. Game over. You forgot to nail it to the wall. Fell right on your neck.
Remember me. And as you're dying, you do one last air guitar to show the end.
The end.
Oh.
Seriously though, we haven't even cleared chapter 1. Oh right, stomach growling, food required. That
I wouldn't say that was food.
Yeah,
that was definitely like a gargling of the throat.
I've never become so hungry I became rabid. Like, what happened there?
Happy to
required. I'm sorry, I'm just a little peckish.
Sorry, I skipped dinner.
I don't follow at all.
I don't get it.
It's the future. Things are weird. I wasn't expecting to actually be working today. I forgot to pack a lunch.
When you have pizza on a bagel.
God damn it. Iris, I don't care about
I don't even know if that counts as a pizza fact.
That doesn't count. That's just an ad.
The fact that pizza would be tasty is not a fact. I mean, it is, but not... She knows damn well why that's different. Shh, Irish. Hey, so any good restaurants in walking distance? I think that bookstore next door sells donuts and stuff, but...
Oh, no, not really, unfortunately. I mean,
there was like a Wub Sub outside, but I guess that literally is a speaker shop then.
I mean...
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah, Wub Sub sandwich place. I mean, there's a cheapo Wub Sub sandwich place, but even if that stuff is super tasty, you don't want to go there. You need to eat healthy. I like that idea. Wub Sub having the same marketing that Subway has, where it's like, you know, we had, oh, I mean, it's kind of not cool to...
It's like eat trash instead of eat fresh?
No, it's still like the eat fresh, generally speaking. But like, for Subway, their big push with Jared Fogle, who, despite the fact that he is an entirely terrible person, like, he like, did the Subway diet, and he lost, like, so many pounds. Like, he went from, like, this really big guy to, like, just, like, a normal person. I say normal. The supposedly healthy person. So, like, I imagine that being the same thing, and then she says healthy because she knows how garbage Subway actually is. And
right. I thought you were saying that, like, in this alternate reality, we had Subway that's like, eat fresh, look at how healthy and like, well-beating and good for you this food is. And then Wub Sub was just like, it's literally a grease on a biscuit. Like,
we don't serve food, only the grease. And they just give you, like, a bowl full of grease and a spoon.
You fill it up out of just, like, a tap on the wall, like... It's
God. Hey, I know. Wait right here.
And she's off, scurrying back to her hidey hole. And she's back, scurrying from her hidey hole.
I like how your character feels the need to elaborate that. To himself, mind you. It's not like he's talking to anybody else. He might be saying it aloud because we've seen that he does that. He does that.
That did come up once.
But like, definitely doing just the weird announcements of his thoughts.
I mean, if she's gonna say that we're not strong and not strapping, yeah, I'll tell her she scurries around like a little rodent. How about that?
Lunchtime. Here you go.
She presses a box lunch into my hands.
It's a bento box. I learned how to make them from my mom, who learned from her mom back when they lived in Japan.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
Rice and pickles and all sorts of good healthy things.
You just made this? Oh, you're giving me your lunch?
Sure, why not?
Well, because then you don't get food. And yet, when I first walked in as a stranger, she looked super uncomfortable with me. That escalated quickly. Yeah, we're at +1. Wait, I think we're at +2. This relationship is soaring.
We can check we can check our inventory for how many
they're
of
tied
hers.
at 2.
They're both tied at a whopping 2. And we have
Gavin and
2 Gavins in our pocket, as well as 2 Naomis.
Yeah, and Gavin didn't give us no bento box. 2 seems like it's like best friend territory.
God.
What'll you have for lunch then?
Oh, I can just get some nachos from the vending machine, or go to the whole story next door. I've got a book delivery to pick up anyways.
Wait, so maybe she would have thought that nacho joke was just priceless if she loves nachos. Maybe she answered nachos to what is your favorite snack? She would have been all rolling on the floor.
Yeah, but how would we have known that? That would have been a shot in the dark that very barely makes it.
It's a shot in the dark where no one even told you what direction the net was in.
It's a shot in the dark where the target is like on the opposite end of the room you're shooting at.
It's a moving target. It's odds were low.
Odds were very low.
But you said eating healthy was important.
See ya.
Are you just saying I look like such a scrub that I could use a good meal?
No, it's because I'm guessing what's happening here is that she wanted to go eat something else, but she had her own lunch, so she used you as her scapegoat. So she gave you her lunch so that she can go buy other food.
Guilt-free, eat greasy.
Exactly.
Oh, no, I did a kind thing. It's fine if I eat a horrible, disgusting lunch now.
See you after lunch.
I too try to contrive situations where I can eat less healthy on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I can't help but think she was just looking for an excuse to go get some junk food instead. Man, we get this. We get this game. I'd say Naomi definitely fits in with Francine's ideals for this arcade. She's got a love for these games, and it shows. And giving me her lunch? Me? A total stranger? It's a kindness I don't know if I deserve, but I appreciate it all the same.
I like this game because it has a lot of my humor, I think.
It does seem to... I think it's well written. So, a bento box. I've only seen these in anime. It's cute, and hopefully has plenty of calories too. Armed with a box of health food, I retired to the employee lounge to get my munch on.